Good evening, I'm Giuseppe Basile, I'm the analyst and trader. You can find at the website www.fibstalker.com. I also post regularly on Twitter using the Twitter handle Fibstalker. Good evening, today is Sunday, December the 15th, 2013, and this video is the third video of my Fibstalker free newsletter I send out on Sunday evenings, with reviews of the major forex pairs, as well as the dollar index, the SP 500, the gold, E-mini futures, and in this video I'm going to review for you a few majors, and this includes the pound versus the US dollar, the Australian dollar versus the US dollar, the US dollar versus the Canadian dollar, and this evening I'm going to include the New Zealand versus US dollar Kiwi forex pair, and this is a request from Delta, and this is for you. So let's start from the daily of the pound versus the US dollar, and you know that I've been modeling this lateral move we had between September and November with an extension high, and we saw participation at 158.50, and no surprise that price went into the first target 164.60 here, and then we start seeing some profit taking. Now for this market there are two options. Actually the options are three. The first option is that we get a retracement into the next measure move on the daily chart, and this would support anyway a continuation higher into this second target, which is 167.76. So if we continue lower, we should see support at 161.60 and then a continuation higher. The other scenario is that this market is going to retrace all the way 90% of this move higher here, the move that started around the beginning of November here. I do not believe this is the highest probability scenario here, but I'm going to provide it anyway. And you know that the red lines are the violations lines. So if we violate the line of the previous measure move I showed you, then we are going to move to. But I don't believe that this is the highest probability move. It is possible that we just continue higher here into the 167.76. So the two scenarios are a retracement of the all the way halfway back of this move from November, or just a continuation higher. And as soon as we identify support here, we will also know what is the anchor that program trading is using. We still don't know that. So be very careful in this market. It was easy to trade back at the beginning of November, but on the daily at least, and on the 4 hours has not been that complicated, and you could get very good positions here. Moving to the Australian dollar versus the US dollar, you know that on the daily chart, maybe I should start from the weekly again in this market, and those who follow me know that I've been looking at this market in extension since 2009. What you see on the screen is the weekly chart of the Australian dollar versus the US dollar. And as you can see, this setup worked very well. It's an extension, and 081.40 was the entry point, first target parity, and then second target at 109, basically 110 here. But then, I mean, we saw something very important. We saw that the next measure move did not hold. The next move was an extension, and actually we got violation just at the first attempt here, as you can see here. And this is an indication, and then this market is going to is going to retrace down into the 08540, and I've been giving this level now since months. Most recently, we saw in this market, we saw another measure move working very well, and we can see participation of this tradition, and this is not this is part of the sequence, because we had this sequence, and we saw participation 097, which is actually supporting our case here of seeing price lower into 085 and even lower this first target at 084, but 085.40 would be the exit point for me. And after market trade is 097.15 here, we just saw a few weeks of move lower. Now it doesn't mean that this will continue without bounces, but as we can see, anytime, I mean, we saw this market moving lower, it was just a continuation lower, and we always have our tools to understand where the market is going. Now, at some point, we had a traditional move here, and broke price into first target and second target, and then we had the start of extension shorts, and we can see this, the market was extended and started trading first level 095.62 to first target 090, and then from the same, using the same anchor, the program trading is using in this market the same anchor, we had the second setup, 091 bringing prices to 090.8923. We had this brief violation here, but you have to know that volume in the Australian dollar versus the US dollar is not the same as the euro dollar versus the Australian dollar, the euro versus the US dollar. So volume is very important for participation of program trading. So when we can see on smaller volume or smaller of forex with the smaller amount being traded every second or every day, these traces are not perfect, but anyway, this worked, and so now what I'm anticipating, it's again program trading using the same anchor, and this is going then to produce potentially retrace that goes into 090.80 here, so a little bit higher here. But there is also the possibility that we just continue lower. So there is no, we don't have information at the moment coming from the analysis of the algorithm trading footprints on price that can help us in understanding whether there is a continuation lower or not. And so we just wait. When it's like that, I just wait, and we can make money anyway. So there's no need to rush here. But if we get into 090.80, then that would be a very good high probability short for a continuation lower, and at least for getting one unit of risk here of gain. Okay, so we can have a free trade if we get there. If you don't understand this terminology, don't worry about that. I'm preparing some material that I will share with free newsletter subscribers, so don't worry about that. Just keep following and look at how the system works, and review the information on my website fibstalker.com. The next market is the US dollar versus Canadian dollar, and on the weekly time frame we have actually market getting into this level of resistance. Has been working now since 2011 and twice in 2013, and actually we start seeing participation on the downside in this resistance area. So on the daily then we can see that the trade and setup that I gave you on Twitter and it's actually I mentioned this kind of trades also in my last review, an interview on the Del Pinkert's Del Pinkert's live analysis room, and this is where resting orders are, dangling the resting orders 106.64, and you were nicely bringing price into 106.04 and 105.73. So that's again. Now I would anticipate here a retracement, and this retracement could actually be very shallow, and then a continuation lower in 4-hour extension. So we will I will follow this market for you, and if I see something, I will send an update during the week. Now anyway, congratulations to those who follow my advice and entered here 0664. Notice that you don't have to enter this market just blindly at this blue line and put the stop at the red line. I have a technique which I called fib stalking timing technique, that allows you to understand when the move higher in the lower time frame, in this case would be 15 minutes or 4 hours, fails, and that's an indication of when you have to enter. So there is no reason to believe that you have to trade. You can trade those setups using 106, using the actual blue line as an entry and the red line as a stop, but you don't have to. Finally, I want to touch on the Kiwi here, and I start from the weekly. Differently from the Australian dollar, this market is not in shorts, and let me show you why. On the weekly chart we can see that I think I've been using this level here. We had traditional measure move here, and we touched the first target. We didn't actually reach the second target, but then market found support at the next sequence, right? And so as we can see here, initially it failed, but then it started finding support at this level. And I still see support in this market, which means I still see participation on the long side from program trading. And if I move to the daily chart, then what we can see since July, if we consider the lows in July, I can see that we have support here at 081.13, and so we had this move higher, and then we had this correction lower, but this correction lower did not negate the move higher we have starting from July. So and on the 4-hour time frame, I also can see here that there was a retracement, and actually on last Friday, and the retracement never broken this 81.78. So we have long on the weekly, we have longs on the daily here with support at 081, and also on the 4-hour time frame, and on this move we have support. So I think we should start worrying if we move below 81.78, but that would be a retest of the 81.13. So I don't see this market going down at the moment, and I want to show also the sequence of measure move on the other on the short side. After we saw this high here in October, actually the sequence is intact. And as we can see, sorry, the sequence is not intact anymore. We had this participation 08355, bringing price right into that first target 08079, and then the next measured move failed. I will wrap it up here, and I hope this video is useful, and I see higher price here. I wish you a very good weekend, and see you soon. Bye now.